Yo, what up, guys? Garrett Fankhauser with FFLfunnels.com. Hope you guys are doing awesome. It's been a little bit since I have been able to make one of these videos, so I am super stoked to be here and chatting with you guys now. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I feel is absolutely critical in the growth and sustainability of your business. So what I've been finding out is that most dealers have, let's say, skewed visions on the way that they allocate their cash. And what I mean by that is most dealers are spending so much money just reinvesting into inventory, and that can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing, right? So that can be a good thing in the sense of if you are moving that much inventory, if you have that much flow, that's a good thing, right? If you're spending $5,000 a month on inventory and you're flipping all of it and you're making 10 grand back or whatever it is, with the margins in the firearms industry, probably not, but you guys get what I'm saying. If you guys make it all back, then it's totally worth it. The big problem that I see is most dealers are reinvesting into a bunch of shit like lasers and Cerakote stuff and inventory, and they're not able to actually sell that much of it. And the big problem that they should be focusing on and solving instead, and this is what we help dealers with, and this is how I know that it works, is you should be focusing more on advertising. You need to get more customers at this point in time. Most of you that I talk to, right now will be like, oh, it's summer, this is our slow time or whatever. Cool. You should be fucking advertising. You should be getting more attention right now than just like doing nothing or investing in a bunch of inventory and kind of just sitting and waiting, and hopefully the market will change, and it's an election year, but it might be a late election year. You have no control over any of that shit. But what you do have control over is how many people know that you exist. And that's the number one problem that dealers run into, is that I don't want to say nobody, but not enough people know that you actually exist. So if we were to look at other industries or some of the big dogs in the industry, you see that they're constantly advertising. You go on YouTube, you watch PewView or Garand Thumb, there's going to be advertisements on there. Those companies got big because of advertising. It's not that they got big and then they started advertising. That is a huge takeaway that I really want you guys to take away from this video. Those companies fucking got big because they started advertising. They started doing SEO. They started running ads. They started promoting on social media properly, right? They started doing email campaigns and texting people and doing some of this other stuff that needs to be done to generate more traffic and sales. They started doing all that to get big. They didn't get big out of nowhere and then now we have enough money to advertise. It doesn't work like that, guys. And if you are not making enough money right now in your FFL business, it's because you're not fucking advertising enough. I'm very passionate about this because I understand how fragile any business can be if you run out of customers and if that happens for a long enough period of time. That's the number one way that you'll lose a company. The number one way that you will lose your company is not by making a mistake. It's not by hiring somebody for help and that being the wrong choice, or gambling with some cash on X, Y, and Z or whatever. The number one way that you will lose your company is by not having enough customers on a consistent basis to generate that level of cash flow that you need to pay your bills, to be able to reinvest back into the business, to be able to take a paycheck, to be able to hire staff, to be able to expand into a bigger building or add a range or build a new website or whatever it is. That's all part of the game, but that's not how you're going to lose your business. You will lose your business if you don't generate enough attention, enough customers, enough traffic, enough sales, all of that. That's the stuff that's really going to hold you back. So I wanted to do this video today just to walk you guys through that, and that The number one most important thing that you guys should be focusing on right now is getting more customers. Okay, that's going to be for 9.5 out of 10 people. If you're the 0.5 and you already have too many customers and your issue is you just can't even keep up with inventory and stuff like that, that's good, right? I'm not speaking to you in this video. You're obviously already advertising, or you have some other system in place that's already helping you to generate more customers than you can even handle. I worked retail for about 10 years, and one of the biggest things that we didn't do at both of the shops that I worked at was advertise properly. One of the shops, the bigger shop, did well with some types of advertising. They were doing a little bit of email marketing and some other local stuff and things like that. But just looking back, I mean, there was so much money left on the table. There was days where like me or some of the other staff would just go home because there wasn't enough sales that day. There wasn't enough people walking in the door that day, and they weren't selling anything online either. So they didn't have a system to help them level out their cash flow on days where the in-store stuff was kind of shitty. And so that's kind of a big thing with having the online space and advertising it, is it's like having more employees. It's like having more employees that work 24/7, that generate cash flow on a daily, weekly, monthly basis that you can use to help stabilize your business. And in stabilizing the business, you can also use that to generate more cash flow, or enough cash flow to reinvest in more marketing. Look, when you turn on the TV, I mentioned YouTube earlier, magazines, right? So if you go and if we want to be gun specific, right, you can like read any of the shooting magazines. They're full of advertisements, right? You go on YouTube and you watch the video, like I said earlier, it's full of advertisements, right? You go and watch reels or shorts or whatever on YouTube or Facebook or whatever will allow it, right? Tons of advertising, right? The whole point, guys, is that if people don't know who the fuck you are, they cannot give you money. That's how it works. So, again, the key takeaways of this are just, if you're not making enough right now, you have a bigger problem to solve than just having the right inventory, that type of stuff. You need to get more people to know that you exist, and you need an easier and a better way to convert them into a customer. Think of Amazon, right? Amazon is so freaking easy, right? You pull up your phone, you open up the app, you can even talk into it and you say, I'm looking for XYZ. It pops up, check out, right? Boom, add to cart. Like it's just so quick and easy. That's what we focus on with our sites, is making the things as quick and easy as possible for your customers to use so that you can generate more sales. Then what we do is we review the data and we look and see what's working, what's not working. Let's do more of what's working. Let's do less of what's not working, right? That's the kind of stuff that really helps out here. But that's besides the point. You guys need to do more advertising. That can be local, that can be national, that could be in the form of doing content marketing, that can be SEO, that can be running paid ads, things like that. There's tons of different things that you guys can do. Don't be afraid to get creative. And the number one thing is, don't be afraid to lose money, and don't be afraid to spend money to make this shit happen, because it might not work right the second that you start, but if you commit to it long enough and you learn how it works and you understand why people buy and what it takes to make more people buy, you will be able to grow this into something that will continuously pay you for the rest of your life. Cool? Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.